Okay, I believe we are now live on our YouTube channel. So that's a good thing. We are about to get started at the top of the hour. So if you're already on uh, the live tune in, thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to an awesome display this evening. Let's see, mic check one, two. Let's make sure we got good sound here. Hey, Peter, thanks for joining us early, man. Let me let you get in here. I see you're not in here yet. So for those people on the YouTube page, we will have the enterprisers that are a part of this particular cohort. They will be here in the Zoom room with me. So I'll be specifically speaking some of these things directly to them. And then we have other people that'll be able to listen in on our YouTube channel. And we will be sure to get started right on time today. Perfect. I see people coming in. I see people coming in on the Zoom room. There is Hilda. There is Peter. I see, looks like last name Jankston. Thank y'all. We're live on our YouTube channel, but you guys are the only people here in the room, the new enterprisers. Could somebody please let me know if the sound is good? I'm not sure if Peter or Jankston, if you can you just confirm you hear me well out there?
Yeah, I can listen you.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, good. So yeah, good stuff. Where are you from Jankston, is that the name? I just this is our first time getting together. Where are you logged in from?
So currently I'm facing my device. I'm calling Happy Osbat, so I'm facing my device has a problem with connecting, so I've borrowed a device from Kule Jackson, but I'm calling Happy Osbat.
Okay, perfect.
So
No
I've joined
problem.
in
Thank you.
from Uganda.
Hmm.
I've joined in from Uganda in PG district, mostly in the central region of Uganda.
Okay, perfect. I've been to MPG before. Glad to have you here. Perfect. Yeah. So again, thank you. I see quite a few people coming in on the enterpriser side. There's Charles. There is Maria. There's Hilda has joined us. Looks like the Badvia is coming in from Bangalore. He's in India. And then we do have an audience on our YouTube channel that may just be following along to get this information. So I want to welcome everybody to the Shift Zoom room. Thank you for signing in early because we will get started right at the top of the hour. We like to keep time because that's very important to us. People here that are just coming in, feel free to unmute if you'd like to say hello. The chat is there. The chat is always there. As we go through the few slides we have today, feel free to drop your question in the chat, specifically the people that are here with me in the Zoom room. People that might be listening in on YouTube or following along there, if you drop a question in the chat, we'll make sure we come back around and get that answer for you. So again, y'all, this is the introduction to the shift approach. This is our orientation for the fifth East African cohort of Shift Enterprise Academy. And so we'll be here about 30 minutes. We have our enterprisers that are going to be in this next cohort in the room now. We have a couple of people that may follow along that are just interested to know about Shift in the on our YouTube channel. So we got a few more minutes till we go live. So feel free to say hello. I think I saw Badvia come in. Is that you, Badvia?
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Badvia, doing well, man. It's good to hear your voice in this setting.
Yeah, it's been a while, Like it's always, good to talk to you. What a man, what a man. Amazing.
Man, thank you so much,
I am
Badvia. I really
excited to be the
looking.
part of this cohort, and let's see what new I can learn from you and through the shift approach.
Nah, I love it for sure. So Badvia has been a friend of Shift now for about a year, and so he'd been following along and decided to join us. Again, Badvia is in Bangalore for India. So for those of you that are here in the Shift room will be a part of this best cohort ever that I'm calling it, welcome. This is a introduction to the Shift approach. You'll have a chance to get to know the people in this cohort. We'll do breakout rooms and things like that. So this session, as I've mentioned a couple times before already, is A, being recorded. B, we're sending this out over our YouTube channel for the general public that may be interested in learning about Shift. And so, yeah, that's what this is. So I'm going to pause for a minute in case anyone else wants to say a hello before we officially get started with our brief presentation. Okay. I think I saw Grace come in. Grace, are you, was that you that joined us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Grace is joining us from Kenya. So, hey, listen, y'all, it's right at 8 p.m. here in East Africa. And so we like to keep time very, very well. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. So, welcome to the folks that are new. This is your very first time being in a Shift environment. My name is Ethan Brisby. I am the founder and the lead instructor for Shift Enterprise Academy. And today, what's going to happen is we're going to go over a bit of what Shift is. We're going to get you prepared for the upcoming cohort. And then we also have some people that may be listening on our YouTube channel as well. So here's how it'll work. As I go through just a few slides, if you would, you can drop a question in the chat, especially people that are in the Zoom room. If you're maybe listening on YouTube, we'll try to go back and answer questions you may have, but specifically people in the room, the chat is available, and we'll also have a Q&A afterwards as well. So let me know that you're with me. You can say hello in the chat, or you can just give me a thumbs up, but I'm going to go ahead and go into this information I have for you all so that we can get on the same page and then we can keep getting stuff done. All right, so as I mentioned, this is introduction. Okay, I see the chat jumping off. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, there's Gerald. So as I mentioned, this is the introduction to the Shift approach. By the end of this session, my goal is for you to have a very clear understanding of what Shift Enterprise Academy is, what the Shift approach is all about, and specifically people that are here in the Zoom room with me. I want to make sure you understand what the next 5 weeks would look like as you go into building capacity in the 21st century. So, as I mentioned, here's what we're going to cover. We're going to be short and to the point today. We should be in and out in 30 minutes. So I would hope and ask that you could give us your undivided attention. I want to tell you a little bit about the history of Shift. How did we get to this point? Then I want to tell you a bit about what Shift actually stands for. Anytime you see the word Shift written in all caps, that means something. It's an acronym. So definitely want to make sure you understand those pillars. And then lastly, we want to end with the vision. Where are we going? What is the vision? The word tells us that we perish for lack of vision. So my hope and my goal is that you've come to Shift with your own ideas. You've come with a vision, with a project, with something you would like to breathe life into. And we want to come together to hopefully help you do just that. All right. So that's the lay of the land. Before we get into the details, I want to do a few quick announcements. This coming up Saturday, May the 18th, we have a State of Shift Enterprise Academy that will be released, basically sort of giving an overview of where all of our programs now, some details about those that have come through our program and how they're doing. We have some exciting projects on the horizon. Next month in June, we have a Shift Week coming up on June the 19th. The highlight of that week will be a pitch competition featuring hopefully you. We want to highlight the people that come through this cohort by giving you an opportunity to pitch your project or your business, your growth projection, to potentially receive funding or mentorship. We just want to make sure we have quite a bit of resources available for everyone here. Juneteenth is a very special day for me as an African American. It's the day that's celebrated back home in the culture as the day that those people that were once enslaved from the continent celebrate freedom and then being able to grow and evolve in America. So June the 19th is when we'll have our pitch competition. And then going into the month of later in June and July, we have a youth innovation challenge. Okay, I know that sounds like a lot, but we definitely want to make sure we're getting stuff done. Okay, and you can subscribe to our mailing list and or our newsletter for regular updates. The mailing list, you can subscribe on our website. Our newsletter is called Decision Makers Boulevard. Okay. So let's jump into the history again. This is the introduction to the shift approach. Welcome people that may be on YouTube, those people that are here in the room with us. I want to tell you how we got here. This is a very long process that we've evolved with that started way back in 2007. So when you talk about learning the shift approach, applying it to your life, applying it to a project to try to get from where you are now to where you want to be, the things that we teach are very well researched. This began as my research in college, where I studied urban planning. And I wanted to understand how social capital works, how local economies worked. I wanted to understand how we could help people change their mentality. Thus, the name Shift evolved. For about 18 months, about 2 years, we began to implement the ideas that came out of my research by, first of all, we used to help people pay for college. That was the way we started. How could we help people pay for college? Because I was a first generation college graduate. And so we had 4 cohorts with the Boys and Girls Club of the Brazos Valley. Texas A&M University was one of our partners then. The city of Bryan. I know I'm missing some people. Gear Up, which is a federally funded program. We would go in and host these 5-week cohorts to help people shift their mentality. Then we pivoted, and I sort of went into doing keynote speeches. We were able to extend our reach out of my hometown into a place called Galveston, Texas. So we were able to create various ways to apply these pillars that I'm going to tell you about in just a moment. And then in 2018 to 2020, I went into the classroom and actually taught at a high school. I taught a class called Professional Communications and Interpersonal Studies, which is exactly what Shift is all about, helping you think critically about yourself, the world, and your ideas, but then also helping you to effectively communicate that. So part of my research and development, it began by going to California for 3 months on a sabbatical. I didn't do any work. I just had to figure out what next. And so that's where we were whenever we finally were able to launch. In the year 2021, I'm not going to say finally able to, what I'm meaning to say is in the year 2021, I visited East Africa for the first time. And what I discovered here was that there is an incredible hunger for what it is that Shift does. And so I said, this is the fertile ground that we've been looking for. And I went all in, sold my home, and I've come to resettle where we now have this training academy that you're a part of. This is the 5th cohort, and we're in the middle of the best year ever. So you've come at a great time. Okay.
Okay.
The last thing about our history that I'll share is that going forward, what we're working on right now, and what I see as the way we'll be able to have the greatest impact is through what we're calling Shift Forward Centers. I won't dive too much into the Shift Forward Centers, but these are mixed use developments that allow us to have educational facilities, residential facilities, other retail facilities. As you'll learn in a moment, my academic background is in not only urban planning and real estate development. So this is the pinnacle of the trainings and of the research of what we've been doing is these Shift Forward Centers that you'll begin to see pop up across East Africa as we continue to march forward for this mission. Okay, so that's the history. That's the history of Shift. Do we have someone that wanted to add something there? Who's that? Okay, I thought I had someone that wanted to add something. If you would just mute yourself, that way, unless you have something you want to add, you can feel free to drop it in the chat as we go forward. And people that are maybe looking at the video on YouTube, feel free to drop a question or comment in the chat as well, and I will we'll do our best to get to that and respond in a timely manner. But for now, let us continue on. So this is the history. When we talk about these shift pillars, when we talk about what we're doing now, this is where we've come from. This back home, somebody might say, we're not new to this, we're true to this. Right? With that being said, This is essentially, and make sure you're mute if you're here in the Zoom room with us, all our enterprises that are new and coming in, if you would mute. So here is the part where we get to this approach that we're talking about. And remember, we're going to be out of here within 30 minutes. I just want to make sure we have an understanding before we get to the action. What we aim to do with this shift approach that we've discussed in this research, we want to bridge the gap between what you know and what you do. And so we do that because ultimately what shift is all about is economic mobility. How do we increase household incomes? How do we empower people to carry out the visions that they have that are going to lead to the betterment of communities and our society? And we believe it begins with personal development. It begins with you. And so we teach these 5 pillars that I'm going to now go into and tell you about so that you can have an understanding. And these pillars can be catered to any type of learning. From 2021 to 2023, we used to teach the shift approach as a way to teach people how to launch and expand online businesses. But now with this cohort going forward, we're going to be teaching people how to build capacity using digital in the digital age to get their projects from where they are now to where you want to be. And previously, of course, we used to use these same principles to help people pay for college. Okay. And so I've written 2 books that are basically me living what I'm about to show you. They're in a series called The Amazing Life of Brisby. Volume 1 is called 5 Proven Strategies on How to Pay for College. And it's the story of how I was able to go out to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. I had $250 when I started, and I was able to get college paid for in the end. And so I wrote a book about how to do that. So that's volume 1. And volume 2 is me actually in my 30s. I'm 41 years old. During my 30s, I was living the shift approach, how to have these ideas and these visions and bring them to life, how to create project plans, and what are things that people do to breathe life into their ideas. And so both of those books are available through ebook. The enterprises that are here, I'll make sure you guys get copies of those as being a part of our family. People that may be listening or watching on YouTube or at some other time, you can find these on Amazon or Gumroad. Gumroad is a website that sells digital products. Just search my name or the books. And during the month of May, you can pay any amount, just any amount, right? We just want to make sure we get these products to you, but do know that any amount you do pay, we put it right back into Shift so that we can continue carrying the vision forward. Okay. So I know this is a lot. We're going to dive now into what the pillars are. And I'm kind of debating because I have a couple of our enterprisers that have gone through Shift that are here. I think I'll go after because that's what I told him I would do. So Joel, I believe I saw you come in. I'm going to kick it to you after I go through these pillars, and then you can share your experience working through Shift and the type of things that you want to share about the company that you have started through our programming. But here are the shift pillars that we've crafted specifically for capacity building. The S is save your money. Okay, and as we go into week 1, this is all about casting your vision and project planning. But when we do that, we have to be smart. My grandmother used to always say, add up the cost, add up the cost. So we dive deep into financial forecasting and understanding the economics of your project and what that might mean for the greater good. So the S is save your money. This is where everything starts. The H in the shift approach is help your family. It's all about helping your family. How can we do that? Here in Uganda, where many of our new enterprises are from, one of the key policies at the national level is to increase household incomes. And so we want to look at some ways to do that with your business through team building and deal making and just simplifying, getting from where you are to where you want to be to about a 3 to 4 step process that starts with making sure you know your intentions. So we're going to look at writing letters of intent to help you get the buy-in of people to help you with your projects. And so this is the H, help your family, which is all about who's on my team. Okay, so again, this is orientation. This is introduction to the Shift Enterprise Academy, the Shift approach. And so in the Zoom room with me, we have about 20 enterprise enterprisers that are new to Shift and gonna be going through the programming on our YouTube channel. I'm sure we have a couple of people that just may be curious. And we're talking about our pillars of Shift for this particular cohort. So the I is my favorite one. This has always been my favorite pillar. Imagine your goals. Imagine your goals is when you get down to the details. We have to get down to the details. The word tells us to write the vision and make it plain. This is how we can truly know that we're imagining our goals when we have them attached to some type of endpoint, some type of quantity, something that will guide us. And so we really dive deep into various critical thinking types of discussions and dialogues and activities during this week. And ultimately, we know that in order to achieve your goal, we have to be good at selling or being an effective communicator. So that's the I. Imagine your goals. Everyone that comes through our program creates a 5-year plan for their life during this week. And you also will create a 90-day plan for your project. Where can you be? Okay. So we'll pause this for a moment. So I didn't get the chance to tell you guys much about me. So let me just tell you that now. So I am, of course, Ethan Brisby, the creator of the Shift Approach. I published 5 different books, the ones I just showed you. And also I've ghostwritten 2 books, one that's published, one that's sort of in the works with the individuals that wanted to have their stories. For more than 15 years, I've been self-employed, working for myself. So I've constantly been figuring out how to make projects come to life. It's something that I really, really love. And so I'm also an urban development advisor. I have a degree, as I mentioned, in urban planning and a master's degree in land and property development from Texas A&M University. And so this is me, and I absolutely love and I'm honored to be the founder and the lead instructor for Shift Enterprise Academy. This is truly my life's work and my gift to the people that I know, like, and trust. Okay, we're almost out of there. Then we'll hear from someone that's actually been in the program before. The F is follow directions. And following directions is about perseverance, first of all. It's about being able to do what you said you were going to do after the feeling you had when you said it has left you. This is about literally writing that proposal, literally knowing what your work plan will be to get things done. This is about understanding how to tell stories and share what you're doing so that you can get the funding you need, so that you can bring people on board. And I'll tell you right now, I've circled through the shift approach numerous times in my life, but I'm right back at this point right now. I'm right back at this point right now. So it's an ongoing journey. It's a lifestyle. It's something you choose to do with the way you approach how you live your life. That's what the shift approach is. Finally, if we're going to be shifting our mentality, we have to think accurately. We have to think accurately. So the final week of our time together with this particular cohort, capacity building in the digital age, is think accurately. And during that time period, we'll be discussing and going in depth related to timelines, making sure that we are working our plan, that we're, I guess they say, plan your work and work your plans. So we want to think accurately about the execution part of what we're doing. And so we're going to go into think accurately. Generally speaking, the think accurately term is most closely related to you being able to rise above narrow-minded petty thinking. Rise above propaganda. Maybe someone has told you how far you can go in life. Maybe because you think you're from this country or this type of family, there's a certain limit to who you are, and that's just not accurate thinking. So we dive deep into that during the 5th and final week. And of course, we end with a pitch competition. So that's what the shift approach is. I do believe that Joel is with us. Joel, I want to unmute and you go ahead and unmute Joel as I introduce you again. Joel Umo won the very first pitch competition that we had here in Uganda in November 2021 with his idea Zebraville. Zebraville is a media house. And I'll stop there and let Joel kind of tell you a bit more about Zebraville and then maybe share some of his experience with Shift so you'll know exactly what you've gotten yourself into. And then, Joel, I always like to put people on the hot seat. I may ask you a question or two with the short amount of time we have. So Joel, if you're there, why don't you say hello and just tell us a little bit about yourself and Zebraville and what's been going on since you joined Shift.
Thank you so much, Ethan. Hello, everyone. I think I'm excited to it's been a minute, like having another cohort. Really, I feel excited. As somebody, let me know if I'm audible enough, Ethan.
Yes, sir. We hear you loud and clear.
Well, thank you. Again, my name is Joel Oumo. So I'll be making 27 in June. I personally think this year is something that we call at Shift the best year yet. So I'm a founder of Zebraville. So Zebraville is a brand that focuses on providing multimedia solutions for people and stories that matter to them. Zebraville is an idea that I was going here and there about until when we happened to meet with that shift approach back in 2021. And I think always every time when I speak about the shift approach, I always want to bring it as close down to how it has benefited me as a person, but also how it has triggered me into the world of entrepreneurship. I happened to learn about the shift approach at a period when I was here and all about tussling life, survival, being a student, uh, being a son, being a boyfriend, and all of those stuff, but also being a big dreamer and not just certain of which path to take. The shift approach came in at a period when I needed something that was not just learned from school, but in the school of hard knocks, like street knowledge, what actually works, and not what some professors are saying. So learning the shift approach helped me, one, and it's always been like my greatest of all the pillars, thinking accurately. And for me, I always take it as an attribute of thinking beyond your surrounding. Uh, I don't want to make this a spotlight about my life, but I think shift approach and the aspect of thinking accurately helped me to define myself according to how much I want to be of purpose to the world. Starting Zebraville and aligning it to the mantra of people and stories, it's something that came as a thought of like, I want my story, my own story to matter. But then, even as I grow, now I want other people's stories to matter as well. And since the world of media and multimedia skills is what I understand most, starting a brand that aligns with storytelling, with things as simple as branding and content creation seemed the right direction to go into entrepreneurship. And it's how we started Zebraville. And again, I think being a firstborn of this ideology in East Africa, I've had the benefit of having Mr. Ethan Brisby as a mentor, and it just always comes down to when you have the idea and you're excited and the bliss is there, but then when the bliss and the excitement is gone, you can always have a cheat code of having a mentor so that you don't have to go through the entire pain and all the struggle that your mentor has gone through. You can be able to learn it in months. I think it's a cheat code. And getting into the shift approach for anyone that is new right now here, it's an absolute cheat code. It's even insane that you're going to learn all of this in a short period of time. So I just really don't know what more to say. But just a little tapping with Zebraville. So currently we are launching out a motive. We're raising funds for our very first innovation, which is Vilbox. So Vilbox is a film streaming platform that we are primarily targeting telling Black-centric stories. We want to empower filmmakers from East Africa and even outside Africa that have Afrocentric stories to tell. So we are raising funding for the launch of Vilbox, which is a film streaming platform. But also, as enterprises come into this, we are very open to work together with each and every enterpriser who needs branding and content creation services. and we can always discuss how that could be, so that we know how to grow together as a Shift community. Otherwise, I'm really so excited. I can't wait I just wish everyone well that's being part of this academy and that's getting in. And I think it's going to be a very beautiful cohort. And definitely, I think also the title of capacity building in the digital age is something unique. So yeah, it's just excitement coming from me. Thank you, Ethan. But I'll be able to take maybe 2 or 3 questions if someone has.
Wow, that's awesome, Joel. In lieu of our live audience, we'll go ahead and push through. But Joel, if you hang out with us another 5 minutes, we'll end the YouTube stream and we can open the floor up here in the Zoom room if folks want to chat for a bit or maybe ask a few questions. But we're gonna get through what we have. I will say, Joel, I really, he talked about being, I call him the firstborn because again, he won our first pitch competition. And Joel and I have gone months without speaking after having disagreements. We've done great work together. The beautiful video on our home page of our YouTube channel where I'm talking about the vision for Shift. Joel edited that for us, and he's an incredible storyteller. And we look forward to the Veal Box becoming a reality. So for anyone that's listening and you have interest in more exposure into East Africa or beyond, just in the continent with investment opportunities or just wanting to learn more about how we work with early stage businesses and projects, please reach out to us. We have a slew of bright people and projects in the Shift community. Okay, so let's tarry on so that we can get through here. I hope you guys are okay. People that are on the YouTube and of course the enterprisers that are here in the Shift room. This is the introduction to the Shift approach. My name is Ethan Brisby. I am the founder and the lead instructor of this academy that you've decided to join. And so I'm so grateful to have you. So I want to go a little bit into the vision and then we're going to be out of here in terms of this particular course. And we'll just have a few minutes to ask questions for people that are here in the Zoom room with us. So the vision keeps growing. That's all I can say is that it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which I'm sure will happen to you as you dive deeper and deeper into deeper things that you love. But this is what we've zeroed in on. The 3 main areas that we will be looking forward to growing and evolving within the Shift approach in East Africa and beyond. And there's a sort of a foreshadowing you see there of the work that we do with land and property services. We'll get to that. But the number one thing that Shift Enterprise Academy is, if someone asks you tonight, tomorrow, right now, you can tell them this. Shift Enterprise Academy is an education technology company. We teach. That's the number one thing. If we don't do anything else, we teach. Okay, and we want to teach the Shift approach. So that's the number one thing. And we leverage technology, such as this particular call, to do that. Okay. The second thing that Shift is, we see the Shift approach, which is what you will learn, being evolved into being the backbone of a studio. A studio is a venture studio includes multiple early stage businesses that are incubated so that they can grow fast. Imagine being able to have the synergy of others in this particular room that are new enterprisers, or the 60 existing members that we have that are at various parts and phases of our process. So the shift approach within a studio. That's the second area. Those are the 2 main primary areas that we focus now, and we will continue to focus on for the foreseeable future. The last part, and this is the part that really gets me excited because I get to combine everything I love, and that's what we've called the Shift Forward Centers. So we need a place to house this great work. So what we've done is we've identified some sites where we now are seeking to develop these mixed-use facilities that will not only house business incubation and educational land uses, but also mixed use, meaning retail, office, and residential. And so lo and behold, as you'll learn if you get the chance to read the Roaring 30s, again, This is actually what I spent the last 10 years doing, primarily in real estate brokerage. But I just love teaching. But now we get to combine all of that. And so this is the vision for Shift Enterprise Academy, is developing these centers, incubating the most incredible projects we find on the continent, and then making sure we're teaching. This is the vision that we've casted. Remember, people perish for lack of vision. So make sure you brought your idea or your vision, because that's the way we get the most out of this experience, is by you having something you're in love with, and then we can breathe life into it and introduce you to the people that are with us. Okay. Last thing before we get out of here, for people that are listening to this, whether you are on YouTube or here in the Zoom room with us, some of you, I would say most of you in here that have applied for this cohort did request for a scholarship. And so we're working through that right now. And that's why we're having a drive for new members, because anytime we have, for example, our supporters back in the US, or people here that in East Africa that want to support this work, it allows us to deeply subsidize or offer the trainings free of charge to people that otherwise wouldn't be able to have it. And so we're working to make sure we can honor some of those scholarship requests that we did get. Otherwise, let me tell you a little bit about what membership gets you, not only as a learner, but someone in our community. We have a program called Shift Launchpad. Shift Launchpad is a in-person 3-day event, and we host these twice per year. So we'll be having we had a hybrid Launchpad in January, and so we'll be announcing our next Shift Launchpad later this year. And these are in-person, a boot camp. Shift Ventures. Shift Ventures is the name of the studio I mentioned to you a moment ago, that we want to make sure we can incubate and help a few companies per year grow really fast. That's called Shift Ventures. And so membership allows you to be able to apply. That's very competitive. That's for the best of the best. Okay. Just people that are like totally sold out and are making great progress. We currently host an executive mastermind group. We meet once monthly. And the topic of discussion currently is bridging the gap. So it's groups of people, of project owners on the continent, and groups of project owners in the diaspora. And once per month, we just get together and say, well, what's been going on? What are you guys working on? How can we leverage one another? Our last call, we actually had an investor join us, and we were able to make a connection with him. So we host these monthly mastermind calls, and it's available for our members. Shift Tours. Shift Tours is something that we have introduced this year, and it's sort of coming along slowly, but we do envision in 2025 being able to offer sort of a concierge service for individuals that would love to visit the continent of Africa, specifically East Africa, Uganda, and Kenya. And we're able to put together your itinerary. We have some people that are coming to visit and go gorilla trekking. I never knew that going to watch gorillas was such an incredible experience that people love to do in Uganda. So we're actually helping some folks plan that trip now. That's another benefit of being a member. And then we have people that may be interested in investing. As we mentioned before, we have several early stage businesses, several projects that really will help push the continent of Africa forward, not just East Africa, but we have a gentleman here from Nigeria that has an incredible metaverse and a just incredible futuristic perspective of what the world will be. So we have some opportunities to invest. Membership is this, okay? Membership for annual membership is $98. Right now, you can become a lifetime member for $498. What does that mean? That means that basically right now, membership says, hey, I see where this thing is going. I want to be a part of it. I also know that if by becoming a member, I'm able to help subsidize or increase the programming. So I certainly welcome you to become a member. And to do that, you can go to our website, www.shiftenterpriseacademy.com and then you click on the membership tab. For those people that are in the Zoom room, the new enterprisers, we're going to be working through that with you. Some of you, like I mentioned, had requested for a scholarship for this training. So we'll work through getting you taken care of. Others have stated they'll be able to take care of their own memberships. We'll be following up in the coming days and weeks to get, everyone on the roster properly. If you're listening out in the world, somewhere else on planet Earth, again, I welcome you. We welcome you to be a part of what's happening with Shift. We are lifting as we climb. We are creating this thing in real time, right? This is not a drill. This is actually what we're building in this moment. Okay. We believe this is what the world is demanding right now. So with that being said, we are 4 minutes over, but we're really close. It's all good. This has been an introduction to the Shift approach. Okay. I ask you and I welcome you to follow us everywhere at shiftenterpriseacademy.com. That's LinkedIn. That's Facebook. We have our YouTube channel with some videos that give you some of the more of the background about us. Our website, and on Twitter, we are at Shift Ventures. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end the live broadcast. So people that have been listening to us on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. For those that listen at a later time, for general inquiries, you can email us at shiftenterpriseacademy@gmail.com. If you would like to speak directly to me about partnership or membership or things of that nature, investing, it's ethan.brisby@shiftenterpriseacademy.com. And I'm not hard to find. You can find us all over the World Wide Web. Okay, so guys, hold on just a minute for folks in the Zoom room. Let me stop the live stream and then we can take just a few minutes. I'd like to see if you have questions. If you do know you have questions right now, for people that are in the room, I see Peter, I see Badvia, I see who else is here with us. I see Charles and Grace. And I see Lydia, Julius is there, Joel is still here. Please feel free, ma'am, sir, to drop your questions right now. And in a moment, you can even unmute. So let me stop the live stream. Thank you guys on YouTube. We'll